flags.
Okay, I just started the report.
Jen, you want to read?
Yes. Following is the agenda of the regular council meeting of the Borough of Pompton Lakes Mayor and Council and Municipal Corporation in the County of Passaic. The meeting will begin at 7:30 p.m. on January 12, 2022. In the municipal building consistent with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, the meeting will be open for public comments. Public comments may be made at designated times during the meeting and may be submitted in writing to be read aloud during the meeting. Comments to be read at the meeting must be submitted at least 24 hours prior to the meeting by email or to the clerk's office at 25 Lennox Avenue, Pompton Lakes, New Jersey, and must be of length that can reasonably be read within time limit for public comment.
Please stand for a flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In conformance with the Open Public Meeting Law, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this regular meeting through notice posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, mail who will have requested and paid for same, and published in the Suburban Trends. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sarah.
Here.
Council President Polidori.
Here.
Councilman Day.
Here.
Councilman Cruz.
Here.
Councilman DeLon.
Here.
Councilwoman Kent.
Here.
Councilman Bennett.
Here.
With us this evening is our Borough Attorney Mike Semeraro and Tom Boyle, Borough Administrator.
Okay, thank you. Under my updates, I'd like just to give a year in review real quick. It's a very short one, but I think it's an important one. This past year has been very difficult for all our residents, myself, and for the sitting council. We have all gotten through this with the help of each other. I must thank all our first responders, police, fire, first aid, the CERT, DPW, town hall employees, health department, to name a few of these. All these groups that went well above during this trying time of COVID. Please take a moment to thank them if any of you run into them on the streets. Speaking of COVID, last year we had 1,126 cases of COVID in the last year, 5 deaths. Our hearts go out to all 16 residents and their families who lost their fight with COVID. Let's all keep doing the necessary precautions to end the virus once and for all. On some brighter news, we have started redevelopment in town, which is an exciting thing for the Borough of Pompton Lakes. We have some buildings coming down as we speak today. Pretty soon, in the next month or two, they'll start building up where the buildings are coming down. We have other projects in place right now to move forward. So there is some things going on now in Pompton that hasn't gone on in many, many years. And let's remember, at the end of the day, the reason we're doing this is it helps with our tax base. These pilots bring in a lot more money than the taxes that we're collecting. So besides revitalizing our downtown and bringing new people into shop and new buildings, we're also hoping it'll incorporate our tax structure and help us there. So that's all exciting stuff. We've also been able to hold many events in town: Pompton Day, Holiday Stroll, fireworks, to name a few. And a big thank you goes to Karen Murphy in the rec department, the bid, and all the volunteers for making all these programs happen. This council has done a great job in keeping our tax base stable, even with rising costs for health care and pensions, without loss of any service. I can speak for all of us up here that taxes are our #1 priority. The adding of a new sidewalk dock at Lakeside, improvements to our parks, with a commitment to try to redo a new park every year. We have done a lot of work on our rivers and will continue to do so. 2022 can be full of positive ideas if we all choose to believe that, and I choose to believe that. So with that, let's move forward, and everyone have a happy new year. Okay. Can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comments?
So moved.
Council President Polidori, Councilman DeLine, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Anyone from the public like to address? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public session?
So moved.
Councilman DeLine, Councilman Bennett, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Approval of minutes. Motion to approve the following minutes: regular meeting minutes December 8th, 2021, and reorg meeting minutes of January 5th, 2022. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Councilman DeLine,
Second.
Councilwoman Kent, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Bills and claims, we have none this meeting. Petition, does anybody need anything pulled for separate action?
For resolutions?
Yes.
Could I have just an explanation of one?
Which one?
Resolution 2251, I just don't know what that is.
2251. Okay, we'll pull that one out. Anyone else have any other ones? Okay, Liz.
Yes, the mayor and council of the borough of Pompton Lake has reviewed the consent agenda consisting of our proposed resolutions, whereas the mayor and council of the borough of Pompton Lake does desire to remove resolution for individual action from that agenda. Now therefore be resolved resolutions 22-27 through 2276, and we're going to pull resolution 22-61.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the resolutions as listed?
So moved.
Councilman Begg, who was the second?
Second.
Councilwoman Kent. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay, resolution 2251. You want to read it, Liz, or I got it?
Okay. Authorizing a contract for the acquisition of goods and services pursuant to state statute for Eco Sciences, Inc.
Kevin, you know what that one is?
I know it all.
I would hope so.
Yeah, these are people that do it all the time. Actually, Eco Services is our wood turtle people. When we work along the rivers, Maria's friends at DEP decide to make us pay more money to have wood turtle inspectors, to make sure when Dave's there, we check
How do I get that?
So this is our contract with our wood turtle people to make sure we don't crush a wood turtle with a truck.
And just curiosity's sake, now that I look at that, how do they figure that out? What do they do?
They inspect, they look for nests and stuff. We've never found a wood turtle, all work we use them doing it. But then make sure he puts the fabric barrier up and
Oh, interesting.
all that stuff. But that's the contract that we need.
Okay, Councilwoman Kent, any questions?
I thought the price was high. I mean,
That's, we've used them forever. And there are people who recommend it. and
okay, I mean, if that's what we have to do.
It's not to exceed, so depending
It's
on.
not to exceed.
Depends, it's not to exceed, so it depends on when if we're using. But normally if Dave's in the rivers, we gotta make sure they come out and take a look.
Okay, and do they give us a report? Because I've never heard of.
Oh, yeah, I
I've
pass
never
the
seen a
reports on when we
report.
get them. They're usually my administrators report when we're out there. They have pictures, they do a great job when they're out there. But
Oh.
it's based upon when we need them.
Oh, okay.
Certain parts of the river, they aren't there, or they're supposedly not there, and certain, they're phantoms, those little turtles, you know, they pop up anywhere.
I love a good wood turtle.
Okay, yeah, I know, we have 3 rivers, so they do all 3 rivers then.
Was that?
We have 3 rivers, so they inspect all 3
Yeah, they
rivers,
could- yeah,
wherever Dave is.
Wherever he's working,
wherever
only
Dave
when
is
he's
working.
working. They don't do it just to do it, they do it when in his work area.
Okay,
He can't dredge in certain times, DMK.
Mm-hmm.
DMK can't dredge at certain times.
No.
So,
okay.
I think we have permits now for him on 2 rivers, correct?
Right now, we still have permits for all the rivers, but talking to Tom Barati, any work we have to do this year probably won't need under the permits. Because we're gonna be doing standard
Be
cleaning,
permit
there
by
probably won't be any real need.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in good shape for 2022.
Okay, all right, any other questions?
As long as we need this.
We have to, yes.
We have to have it. It's part of our
But
permit.
again, because if he's in the river and he's working, and Tom deems that could be an issue, the engineer, we have to have these people come and do the inspection. Because DEP is gonna come out and say, you didn't inspect for the wood turtle, whether it exists or not. It's a
All right.
requirement.
Okay.
Okay, Liz.
Thank
It's
you.
in our permit. It's there.
It's in our, okay, thank you.
So you want a motion?
Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Councilman Devine?
Second.
Councilman Cruz?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Ah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Okay. Resolutions for separate action.
Okay, these resolutions are authorizing a contract for acquisition of goods and services pursuant to NJS state statute. And the first one is Resolution 2266 with Atlantic Health System Chilton Occupational Center.
Can we do them all at the same time, or can
Yeah, you could do these all. at the
we
same
can do them all the same, so let's just read through them.
You want them all?
Yeah.
Okay. 2267 is with Atlantic Health Chilton Medical Center Nursing Services. 2268 is with Vinefield, Hawkins, Delafield, Wood. Resolution 2269 is with Wilcox and Company. Resolution 2270 is with Huntingmark Agency. 2271 is with Ferriero Engineering. 2272 is with Summer Fitzpatrick Cole Gibbons. 2273 is with Atlantic Health System, and this is for community health education.
So these are all groups that we do business with on a daily basis. So, can I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilman Begg?
Second.
Councilman Devine, roll call, please. And the roll call is for everything, just so everybody knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Councilman Begg,
Yes.
Councilman Cruz,
Yes.
Councilman Deline,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent,
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori,
Yes.
Councilman Bennett.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna move on to ordinances.
Yep.
Ordinance 220405, an ordinance authorizing mayor and borough clerk to execute tower lease agreement and repeater utilization agreement with North Jersey Police Radio Association pursuant to state statute.
Motion to approve ordinance 2205 for introduction.
So moved.
Motion.
Councilman Begg, Councilman Devine, roll call.
Councilman Begg,
Yes.
Councilman Cruz,
Yes.
Councilman Deline,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent,
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori,
Yes.
Councilman Bennett.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 22-06, an ordinance amending chapter 7, section 730, term prohibitions of municipal code of the Borough of Pompton Lakes to add a left turn prohibition on Babcock Place onto Montague Ave.
Motion to approve ordinance 2206 for introduction.
So moved.
Council President Polidori,
Second.
Councilman Begg, roll call, please.
Councilman Begg,
Yes.
Councilman Cruz,
Yes.
Councilman Deline,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent,
Yes.
Councilwoman Polidori,
Yes.
Councilman Bennett.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Under my report, first of all, I have some motions. Motion to appoint Norbert Wink as alternate one for the zoning board of adjustment, term 12/31 to 23. Second, Jared Luciati as alternate second to the zoning board of adjustment, unexpired term 12/31/22. Can I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Bennett. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Okay, under my report, we'll start with the little bit of snow we had, which is great to see. No snow late in the season like this. It's a big hurrah. But I have to remind residents, you do have to remove your cars from the street with snow. I understand from the chief there were 115 tickets written for cars on the streets. Okay? Just so the residents understand, you'll get a ticket, but your car does not get towed. So if there's a car in the street and you're a neighbor, they might have a ticket on the car, but we don't remove them from the streets. I think there was some confusion with some residents on that. But please, remove your car. We're one of the few towns that allows you to park overnight in the winter. We don't want to abuse that privilege, so if you have a car, you have to get it off your property. We do bypass the fact you can park it on your front lawn only for that night. Normally, you cannot park cars on your front lawn, but in a snow emergency, if some of these driveways are small, wherever you can to get it off the street. It just makes the street easier to clean, because a lot of the complaints I get from plowing is not that they didn't plow, it's they don't go curb to curb. They can't go curb to curb if there's cars in the way, so let's pass that around. As I mentioned before, redevelopment has started. You see the buildings coming down in the middle of town. They hope to have them down in the next 2 weeks. That'll be cleared out. They probably will not start building the project till early spring, but it's nice to see progress and nice to see things moving forward. I can tell you, because of what's going on downtown now, I've received numerous calls from small and large people, either looking to move into town with businesses or to buy property in town. So that's what happens when redevelopment starts. They start seeing one group do it, hey, I gotta get in there, I gotta be part of that, I gotta find space. We're hoping, besides all the tax implications that we'll get from this, that it'll bring other establishments into town that we're looking for. So that's one of the things that I'm starting to see today. Just today, I received a call from someone who has a ticker brokering business that sells tickets for concerts and would like to find space in town to do that. So that's all good stuff. That's all good news. This council and myself have been working on this for a very long time, and it's nice to see it finally done. Let's talk about COVID a little bit. I'm hoping the numbers are on their way down, which is a great thing. It seems to be peaking in New York and hopefully in New Jersey very soon. We do have numerous cases here still in town. Knock on wood, there haven't been a lot of hospitalizations from them, but there are people getting sick a lot. The schools, I've spoken to the superintendent numerous times. Their statute is, we're gonna stay open as long as we can, as long as we don't have teachers that are affected and we can't provide an education. So when it comes to keeping our kids in school, that's what they're set to do. The only reason they wouldn't do that is if they have so many teachers out. Now, there's a couple weeks, I say a week or two ago, they had a lot of teachers out, and there was touch and go on one school to if they were gonna stay open. It's gotten better. I think the parents are understanding. It is very important, even if your kid has no symptoms, to not send them to school for 5 to 10, and actually the school law is 10 days, which doesn't follow the CDC for the rest of the town, but unfortunately for school, it's 10 days. Some of the issues that we're seeing in other school districts, the parents see no symptoms from their children, they have to go to work and they're sending them to school 3-4 days in, and unfortunately they start spreading it to other kids. So it is real important that the kids stay home for the 10 days. I know it's hard, I know this, going to school online is not an easy thing, but that's the way we're gonna squash this. Hopefully in the next month or two, this slowly goes away and we get back to our normal life again. We've been pretty good here in Pompton Lakes of trying to make everything happen that we need to. We're one of the few communities that didn't really close down too long, even our meetings here, to move forward, and we want to continue that. So let's try to all do the right thing. And with that, that's my report. Council President Paoldori.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. I do want to congratulate Bobby and Eric on their victorious election win. I'm happy to continue to be sitting up here with you, and I welcome you. I do want to welcome our new Borough Attorney, Mark Semeraro, to the dais. I look forward to working with you as well. And I'm pleased to be sitting up here for this year as the council president. So I look forward to continuing to serve my community and working with the council as the council president this year. I'm also looking forward to continuing to work with Councilwoman Kent on open space and continuing to, as Mayor said, work on one park a year. We did have a meeting this morning with one of the park planners and DPW Supervisor Dan O'Rourke. We looked at a few of the parks to see what does need attention so we can make a decision as we move forward with where we'd like to start putting our efforts towards first. And with that, I just want to continue to wish everyone a great new year. I think things are starting to get better. I was very happy to be part of the groundbreaking at the redevelopment site in town, so I look forward to seeing that project continue as well. And that is my report.
Thank you. Councilman Day.
Thank you. I'd also like to congratulate our two councilmen and welcome aboard. And everyone should have a happy new year. I received the Pompton Lakes Fire Department report from Fire Prevention Chief John Keating. He reports there were 21 calls for the month of December and a total of 300 calls for the year 2021. I received the Pompton Lakes Police Department report for the month of December 2021 from Chief Derek Clark. There were 2,200 calls for service for the month of December. There were 353 motor vehicle stops, 170 summonses issued, 2 DWI arrests, 25 motor vehicle investigated, 91 ambulance requests, 20 alarm conditions burglary, 4 alarm conditions fire, 1 burglary, 7 thefts, no sexual assaults, and no aggravated assaults. The Detective Bureau investigated 11 complaints, conducted 26 background checks for firearms, and completed 2 raffle applications and 1 bingo application, and 10 name checks for backgrounds for PDs and the military. I received the CERT report from CERT Supervisor Deborah Ross. She reports the CERT team had a total of 63.25 volunteer hours for the month of December. That's my report.
Thank you. Councilman Cruz.
Okay.
I attended the Board of Ed meeting last night, and just a few updates from the meeting. Last night, we had Dr. Jane Tanis, she's the Director of Curriculum Testing and Instruction, and Ms. Caitlin Thomas, Learning Acceleration Coordinator, Dpw, which is a new position. And it was a very interesting presentation they had last night. So there is a program called Start Strong Assessment. And last night, they provided the Board of Education and the parents attending. And just to provide some background on that, it's the Start Strong Result Interpretation and Consideration. So it considers the impact of COVID on learning and testing conditions, as well as the impact on student participation in the assessments which were administered in person. The goal of the Start Strong assessment was to quantify unfinished learning. So in short, it's basically to assess the impact of
Hold on,
COVID.
Bobby, just bend your microphone down to it, because it won't get recorded.
Oh, man, I thought I was big, loud enough to, okay. All right, how about now? We're good now? Okay. So just to recap, it basically considers the impact of COVID during the learning time when we were hybrid remote learning. And through multiple data points that we're able to aggregate all this information and really identify those students that indeed need the assistance. And through that, they've been able to demonstrate increased learning and improvement in scores based on this. It was very interesting, it was very fascinating, and the data points are extensive. There is a very big data warehouse that they pull all this information from, but it was impressive to see how much of a focus the district is taking into consideration COVID, and we had that gap. And the last two items that I have here are just quick district updates. Again, I think everybody's aware we need substitutes. For those that are interested, you'll need at least 60 college credits or at least 30 college credits for individuals currently enrolled in an accredited college program. Please consider, if you know anyone, the base pay is $95 per day. I think you may hear it's not as competitive as other districts, but this is an amazing district to work in regardless. And the last thing I have here, we have a COVID-19 vaccination and booster clinic that's being held at Lenox Elementary School this Friday, January 14th from 4 to 6 p.m. And that'll do it for my report.
Mayor, thank you. Speaking of the Board of Ed, I have to be a proud father and announce that my daughter did have Teacher of the Year at Lakeside School this last year, so we were all proud of her for that. Councilman Deloitte.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple things. Shade Tree Commission met on Monday. Actually, one of the volunteers, Randy Hinton, who I guess walked around with the arborist and Michael Martino from the DEP to check on the status of the 150 trees that we planted from the CSIP grant. My belief is that that grant is now finalized, so we should be able to submit for reimbursement.
There's nothing to submit. What happened is now they will be sending us just a voucher for reimbursement.
Okay, so at that point, then we'll get reimbursement for that. Thank you, Kevin, for getting the advertisement out for the 2020 to 20, or 22 to 24 tree trimming contract out. Finally, also, Randy and Pete did some removal of some wires and braces from the trees that were planted along the Morris Canal Greenway. I guess they've gotten to such a point that they're almost even growing into the wires, so they went ahead and removed that. Yesterday, the new Trails Committee met for the first time. They set dates for trails maintenance. As before, there's basically 6 to 8 maintenance days throughout the year, and a couple of the Family Hike Series for 2022. More information will be coming out, so watch our Facebook page and website for that information. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Councilman Deloitte, did they give us a count of how many trees were bad, or did he know that?
It seemed like everything was in pretty good shape. I think that there was a couple maybe that didn't make it.
Okay, that's good.
But generally, I think they were in pretty good shape.
Good. Okay.
There's a percentage threshold that you can have of trees that didn't make it through the process, but for the most part, those trees are all in good shape.
So following up on the second part, how long was the agreement with Comores about that area? Was it 3 years, 4 years?
5.
I don't recall, man.
You know,
What's
take care of
that?
On Lakeside?
Yeah.
5.
Lakeside, I think it's a 5-year
5.
performance.
Is it 5? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so, once it's past the 5 years, I mean, I guess they check that once a year, I'm assuming, or of some sort? Okay.
Yeah, and then that fencing probably has to come down.
Right,
at
then that
point as
fencing,
well.
that's what my question would be. Okay, Councilwoman Kent.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy New Year, everyone. I want to also welcome our new councilman, Bobby Cruz. I know Bobby very well. He's working really hard with the PAL program and the basketball program, and Thank you very much, Bobby, and I'm going to enjoy working with you here on the council at council level.
Thank you.
I also want to congratulate and welcome back Councilman Eric Deline, and again, working on some really good programs with you. So I'm looking forward to working with you on trails and everything else as a DPW liaison, because we'll be doing that. And our new attorney, our borough attorney, Mark Cimarera. And Mark, I'm thrilled to have you. I know you're an excellent attorney, and you are an expert in redevelopment issues, which we will need. So
Thank you.
that is an excellent way to start off this new year with our new
Yeah, that's a
redevelopment.
strong word.
And I want to thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, yeah, I attended the Board of Health meeting to just remind everybody, very important, get your dog and cat licenses, okay? And they are due on January 31st, 2022, and there is a $10 late fee if you don't get your application in. Your dog, I believe the dog and cats both need rabies shots? Do cats need rabies shots?
Yes?
Yeah, so they both need rabies shots, and they can't expire until next year, so please get that in, otherwise you're gonna have to pay some kind of a late fee and possibly a ticket down the way if you don't, so, we wanna get all our furry creatures all legal, okay? The other thing that, I attended the Board of Health meeting as well, and the only thing that a couple of our Board of Health commissioners asked that I mentioned, they said that they feel that it would be nice if we put more information out about where you can get your COVID tests and your shots. They feel we're not getting enough information, or
every town
not more, maybe more frequent.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
on every town website. I don't know how much.
Is there any other way, just other than the
Since
websites?
Since the newspapers are gone, it's on the board. That's all we can do.
Can we maybe post it more frequently? That was our other
Is
question.
it a matter of location of the information that they're finding harder to find? Is that what it is? Not
Yeah, I guess
necessarily how
when you
much?
go on when you go on our borough website, I think what they're looking for is like their big blast. COVID.
Mike puts out,
Yeah, no, I put it out all the time and,
You put it out,
yeah.
but they were wondering if they could just do it more frequent because everybody's sick. You know, there's
Yeah,
a
we
lot.
could try, but I don't know how to really go about that. I mean, I'd have to look at our town website. Liz, do you know, or maybe Eric, you can bring it up. Is it, when you go to our website, does it pop up right in front? Or you have to go?
No, you have to go into the.
I think that's what they're looking for, Mayor. I
They're
think
looking for it to
looking
pop
for-
right out
For the
front.
landing, the
We
home
can do a
landing
pop-up up
page.
there. Maybe
Okay.
Councilman Bennett or Councilman Deline, maybe we can make that happen.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you could let me know when, because they were asking when they can,
They could do it probably in 10 minutes.
Okay, all right, thank you. I'll get back to the health commissioners as well. Okay, and, all right, also now I am the DPW liaison, and I met with Dan, and I think we have a wonderful DPW program, and I asked him to, give me any issues that he may have during the month so we can go over. And so he just gave me a couple reminders for the residents. Please, because of the snow, you need to move your basketball nets off the curb and off the roadways for the winter months, because when they take their snow plows and they go down
We
the
have an
street,
ordinance on that.
they knock the,
Yeah, we don't permit them on the streets at any time of the year.
well, people do. And then they get in trouble when they get their plows.
I'll remind the police officer.
Okay. Well, we're reminding the residents.
Because PD was part of the whole ordinance
Yeah,
process.
they're the ones who want
Yes, it
to.
was.
Yes, so yeah, they're right, they're correct in that we don't allow basketball courts on the street.
Right. But if you put them, I guess, near the curbs, they can get stuck. So they're asking you to move
No,
them
they're
back.
not allowed to play, they can't. be
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Okay. All right. Well, these are his
Yeah,
items. And he said they dropped about 4.1 inches of snow this past Friday. Because of that, some people called, they weren't sure if their garbage was going to be picked up or not going to be picked up. I think what we're going to be doing is, unless you get a reverse 911 call or an email blast, they will pick up the garbage.
correct, and that's how it's always been. If they don't get to hear from us, that means we are doing our normal daily.
Correct. And they just wanted me to reiterate
Yep.
that because they were getting phone calls about that. The DPW is still working on some property damage from the storms of last year. So they're looking for potholes or anything like that. If they can fix them, they will. So I guess if a resident has them, they can contact me or the DPW and just let them know there's a big hole in the road so that they can go and fix it. Christmas trees are being collected now. So they need to have all of the lights and tinsel and ornaments removed before discarded. And then you can bring them to the curb in front of your home, or you could bring them to the recycling center Saturdays, 7:30 to 3 p.m. Okay? Okay. And I also attended the redevelopment photo shovel hard hat picture, and it's a pleasure to be in that, and I'm looking forward to a really nice development going in there and making Pompton a real showstopper. And that is my report.
Okay, just to go back to something you brought up. So as everyone knows, we share our health department with Wayne. Wayne has been doing a fabulous job in doing vaccines, boosters, and everything down at the Macy's and Preakness Shopping Center. Anyone can go online and make an appointment to get a booster shot, or a first shot, a second shot, a rapid test, or a PCR test. They prefer you make an appointment. If you cannot make an appointment, you can just show up, but you might have to wait online. They do that. They'll be doing that again tomorrow and probably all next week. The only issue that came up is we did such a nice job down there with Mary Ann. The state has taken over that site now, and it is being run by the state.
Oh,
What could go wrong?
oh, wow.
What could go wrong? So even though it'll be run the same way, you know, we kind of kept it to our little bubble, which I thought was so nice for us and Wayne that everybody was going there. Now, unfortunately, I guess, we'll be open up to anyone who wants to show up, so the lines could be a little longer there. I can tell you also, though, that the county has a site at the county college that they do Monday through Thursday. I sent somebody over there, no wait, they were in and out for a rapid test in less than 5 minutes. They're there, they do it right on the premises, you sign up on your phone. All these sites that I'm telling you about are free, there's no charge. As long as you show a Jersey's license, you're allowed to get in. So if someone is looking for a test, they are available down at Macy's through us, or through the county at the Wanacue campus, which is off Union Avenue, kind of across the street from the Burger King over there. Okay? Councilman Bennett.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd also like to wish everyone a Happy New Year. I also would like to congratulate Councilman DeLine and Councilman Cruz on your election and re-election. I look forward to working with you. So happy to have you on the dais, Bobby. Our kids have grown up together. We've known each other a very long time. I'd also like to congratulate all our friends who were elected and re-elected in the other races throughout New Jersey. I look forward to working with all of you. And lastly, I just want to remind everyone that Girl Scout cookie season is upon us. There's a few of us on the dais who have children in Girl Scouts. I'm not recommending you buy from anyone specifically, but just support your Girl Scouts and stock up. Thank you.
Wow, that sounds like a soft sale.
Everyone likes Girl Scouts.
Professional reports. Mark, who would like to? Just focus on me today, if you'd like.
I just would like to thank you, Mayor, and the council and the administration for selecting me to be the attorney. I'm looking forward to this year. I'm catching up to speed with respect to the status of the COA. We had a meeting here today with the COA professionals, and I've gotten copies of all the pertinent documents and look forward to getting that wrapped up, hopefully sooner than later. And that's really all I have to say.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Minister's report.
I provided the governing body with my report last week. It's a rather lengthy report. I'll cut to the more important areas discussed tonight, and you can review the rest at your leisure. Relative to Passaic County open space, our first round of Willow Field funding was about to lapse since we haven't done the project yet. We sent a letter requesting an extension, and in my report is a copy of the county's resolution approving the extension of that first round of funding. That was back in 2019, if I remember correctly.
Just go back to that segment. Didn't they double up this last
No, that was last year.
Last year. Are they doing it again?
That was 20 to 21.
2021. Okay.
And we got money from that too. So that's why we have two funding rounds for Willow Field. The pond hole project, the contractor came in and did all the feathering back of the manholes and of the catch basins. Some of our light stanchions have been delivered, and either this weekend or next weekend, depending on when the contractor can get there, we're going to stripe the pond hole until we can actually pave it, because it'd be nice to get people an idea what the pond holes look like striped, driving through the pond hole. So that is underway. The cost of stripe is about $3,000 because we're doing it on a weekend, so we get paid a little extra for that. But that will be done in the next 2 weekends, depending on how the contractor can get his vendor in there. Lincoln Ave of Phase 1, as you know, we're waiting for the spring to come. It was going to start last year, and the weather turned on us, so that will be done. Phase 2 was going to be held to 2023. We have, under DOT regulations, 20-some months to do the contract. Honestly, given the capital improvement cost that we have relative to that fire truck at $1.5 million, it's squeezing our capital improvement ability to bond and to not raise our debt limits. So bottom line is going to be is that we will then take our match with the state gave us and do that second phase in 2023. We're going to start doing the engineering now, so then when early next year comes along, we can go out to bid, have the bid in hand, so when next spring comes on, we'll be on top of phase 2. And so that's a long phase. That is from where it stands on Riverdale Road. It takes it all the way up into town here, up past us. So it's a long stretch of Lincoln Ave. It's almost a $700,000 project by itself. So that's another problem, is that we couldn't put almost $400,000 of debt on that project on this year's capital budget. Just numbers aren't going to work. And we don't end up having a problem long term. Willow Field, besides getting the county's approval to extend our funding, the DEP finally responded today and said that they saw our application, thanks to $15,000, and we'll get back to you down the road. So at least the DEP now acknowledges it's in review, and we'll see where they go reviewing our application. And then once that's done, the engineering's done, we can go out to bid and actually bid the project at Willow Field. It's been, it's almost be 6 years we've been doing this.
Yeah, I know, it feels like forever. Do you think we'll have a shot at it this spring?
I was hoping, but I'm not sure, but
Wow.
I was hoping. But we'll see. You never know. Stranger things have happened. We're getting ready to design the curb ramp project on Howard Street. We received $60,000 from the federal government from CDBG. That'll be included in this year's capital budget. The 2022 budget is almost complete. I have almost all the numbers plugged in. Just got to plug in some police salaries and wages and some DPW salaries and wages, and that to sit and wait, because now I need the order to come into the financial statement, which is when we find out how much we have revenues relative to different fees and stuff like that. We kind of get a feel for what the surplus number is, and then we got to get a feel for tax rate. So the hard part's done. Now it's got to sit and wait for the order. So I'm thinking probably early February we'll have a finance meeting. Hopefully we'll be able to know where we stand. Good thing is some of the larger costs from last year have stabilized. Last year our police pension number went up $100,000 from the year before. That was a big hit. We're up about 30 this year. We could absorb 30. Public employees retirement was up about 60 last year. It's about 20 this year. So those numbers, in my mind, when you're talking numbers of $300,000, $600,000 a piece, relatively flat. You're talking 2 or 3%. So those are big hits that look stable. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to be at our normal one tax point or so as we go into 2022. I'm also working on the capital budget. I'm sure I'm at there. It's going to be, I'm not sure how lean it's going to be, but it's going to have to be somewhat lean, because again, we have that debt and we have to figure out the other costs and so forth and so on. So we'll go with that. But that will be after mid-February. We'll start doing the capital and getting together to recommend where we can go there. Now, relative to Hirschfield Park, the state came out with a DCA recreation grant. I talked to Sue. That might be a good grant to apply for additional funding for Hirschfield Park, to try to get open space money, state DCA money, and maybe some of our open space money over time. Hirschfield Park, based upon our preliminary programs, could be up as much as $900,000 project by putting the bathrooms in, doing a walkway, putting new play facilities. We're going to do it probably in 2 phases. We're going to probably apply one phase being the bathroom, because the bathrooms are the most atrocious thing. They are an embarrassment. I mean, facts are facts. Get them cleaned up, then they'll work their way through the process. So it'll probably be a bathrooms the first. That's a nice project that I think the county would fund. Then we go through see how the other funding is. So we're going to start that process. That being said, we'll have a public hearing on our application in the end of February, and then the paperwork goes to the county, and I'm not sure what their time frame is. The only good thing is the new county director of open space and all that kind of stuff is a local Pompton Lakes resident. born and raised here, and
Who is it?
Jesse, I forget her last name.
Oh, Jesse Woods.
Jesse Woods.
Yeah, Jesse Woods.
Yeah,
Yeah. She's good friends with your daughter.
very good friends. Know the family well.
But anyway, bottom line is that, so I had a nice talking to you the
Oh,
other
I
day.
got a great talk. Wait till I talk to her now.
Yeah.
I want some money coming this way.
So anyway, so it's nice to have a compliment, so she knows the town, she knows what
knows it
we're
well,
looking to do,
yeah.
that type of thing.
Kevin, on that, you have you call it the Pompton Lakes Willow Fields Improvement Project, but it talks about Hirschfield Park. Is that, it's all under the same, on your memo?
Well, no, there's different ones, different things.
Well, no, I think what she's referring to, the last page of your report, when it talks about the public hearing for the restroom facilities in Hirschfield Park.
That's only for Herschel Park.
Yeah, the header
But your header
of that
says
document
Willow-
says Pompton Lakes
Willow
Willow
Fields.
Fields.
It does say Will.
So is that just a,
The header just needs to be changed for the advertisement.
yeah, because it looks like it's about Willow Field, not the Hirschfield Park.
Okay. All right, yeah, I didn't catch that one, Sue, I'll talk to Sue about doing that, okay. I'll have to
Okay.
change that if we can, yeah, it's fine.
Thank you.
And the last thing, Channel 77, our television station, is gonna be off the air for a while. The lady who, whatever's on is on. But the
about
lady who, what?
This meeting, yes or no?
Will not be on.
Okay.
The lady
All that
who
time
takes,
just
the
wasted talking
lady,
for nothing. Wish I knew that first.
the lady who takes these meetings from when it gets uploaded from Jimmy Busey is in the hospital right now. And her husband didn't give me any time frame to tell you when she'll be back. So right now, whatever's up is up. But there's no, she has all the equipment that translates it to go to Oakland Cablevision. That's the issue.
Doesn't anybody know how to do it? Else?
They have to have the equipment.
It's the equipment. It's the problem is that they have to go, I remember this from years ago. They take the video, then it has to actually have to be downgraded to 480p.
And
to
she
actually
has
put
a
on-
machine
yeah,
that
like,
uploads it to the
so she can actually put on.
cable.
All right, so I'm gonna ask this, Liz, maybe you could do
Don't
this.
ask me.
Oh, I'm gonna ask you. Let's put up a slide on Channel 77 explaining that Channel 77 is down due to illness, and we hope to get it up as soon as possible.
And they can see the video on YouTube,
Because I'll get a million calls.
It will be on our website.
on our YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
and
Mayor suggests you just
So
send
it,
that.
Technical difficulties, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, so I just found out today she was out ill.
All right, and actually, could you also include on that it will be on the webpage?
On
if you want
our
to-
borough's
I'll
YouTube
direct
channel.
them to the web.
Let's put that more recent than the other ones if we can, add like 2 of them if we can or something. Just because some people do watch that channel.
We'll also do a news flash
Yeah.
on the
Yes.
website.
Okay,
That would be
I'll
great.
print it up both places.
good.
Perfect.
And that's my report.
All right, just one real quick thing. I'm getting a lot of calls and I'm explaining to them why they're not happy with the pond hole diagram. I said that the idea of why we put the islands in was to slow down the traffic through that parking lot because it was a straight cut through
Yeah.
between Lakeside and.
There was always the intention to have a traffic calming process
It
in
was,
that parking lot.
so that has to get out there, that was put in also as a calming aspect of the parking lot, so people did not speed through. So if it's annoying you and you have to go slower, then it's working.
Well, wait till the fence
Right
goes
thing.
up. Wait till the fence goes up and you can't get through the fence.
Any questions to the administrator?
Yeah, real quick on the pond hole, when they go to do the temporary striping, I'm assuming it's all gonna be one day, because it's probably just paint.
It's gonna be in one day, and it's gonna be as it is on the plan. So,
Right.
so when we actually do the second lift of asphalt, it'll be restriped the same way again.
Are they gonna close the pond hole for that striping?
No, what
period?
we're gonna try to do is, because there's limited cars that during the weekend, we're gonna have the trailer up to say, watch where you're parking, and we're gonna move people half and half. We'll figure out how we're gonna do that. The cops will do that first thing in the
Okay.
morning.
Yeah, because it can get pretty busy there.
Yeah, I've already talked to Lieutenant Kapaki, and he's prepared for that. And we're also gonna give a hangers to all the businesses and residents like we did the first
Okay.
time, let them know what's happening and stuff. But Mike's gonna coordinate how we divide the pond hole for the striping.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions? None? Okay. Can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comments?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Councilman Vaughn, Council President Polidori, all in favor?
Aye.
Against, anyone from the public like to address? Step up.
Yeah, you're looking at me strange, Kevin.
Ask you a question.
David Farnick, 107 Federal Hill Road.
first, I want to congratulate Bobby for your first term and Eric for your second.
Thank you, David.
And, let's see, a couple things I got here. So where I live, there's some dumpsters in my complex, and so like whenever I take the trash and recycle out, then it's like, okay, I could care less when it gets picked up and that kind of thing. So, are we on the once or twice a week schedule for the trash collections?
We're always twice a week unless there's a holiday in that week.
Okay, yeah. Because in past years, I remember that say like around October, November, that we've changed to once a week until maybe like March,
Well, in
April.
October
then-
and November, we do once a week for leaf pickup and once for garbage. But now, at this moment, we're in twice a week unless there's a holiday during the week.
True, yeah. Okay, yeah, so it's still twice a week, okay, yeah, and, then according to the 2206 that we just went into, so, yeah, why would you want to, eliminate the left turn from Babcock onto Wanacue?
That's a county requirement. It's a county road, so the county's requiring that.
As part of the new Maria development, because of such a number of vehicles, they don't want people trying to turn against two lanes of traffic going left, so everybody's gonna follow the right path and get around town that way. It's a county requirement, not developed.
Okay, yeah. So I was thinking, since you're eliminating that turning, then I'm thinking, so now that you're doing that, then everyone that's coming out of Babcock has to turn right, then go into the shopping center to turn around to go.
Or they go around to Lakeside and go out that way and back down Ramapo, yes. That's the way they should be going when they come out of there.
Oh,
Go right and
okay.
then go down around, then go down Ramapo and then back out the other way. And that's not our requirement, that's a county requirement, so we can't change that.
Wait. I'm thinking of, what street is that by the Deli Mart behind Thatcher's?
No, that's not there, we're not talking about there. We're talking about right in the middle of downtown where the buildings are coming.
By the theater.
Right in the theater. Oh, okay,
Babcock,
yeah.
what you said, that is the right street, yes.
But I'm thinking that the street that's behind Thatcher's.
No, the recycling center, it's the wrong street.
Wrong, different street.
Wrong street.
Yep, so you're Babcock, which is a street in the middle of town, you can only make a right-hand turn there now and not a left-hand turn.
Okay, yeah. So what street am I thinking of then?
That is Ivy, I think?
Ivy.
That's it, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's what I'm thinking of, and, let's see, and for Bobby, since you knew, and, I hate to do this to you, Maria. She knows what I'm thinking. When Frank Jack Ned was still here, before he left, the night I was watching, I was watching one of these meetings from home, then Maria was right here, and she immediately went into what she wanted to say, then you were like, Maria, name and address at the podium.
Correct.
History.
Huh?
It's all history.
Yeah, that's still our saying and yours too.
Correct.
So that's new for you, Bobby, and Kevin, I think you've probably heard me saying that too. I guess that means yes.
And I guess it's it for me.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public like to address? Please step up.
Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. I just want to congratulate Councilman Cruz, Councilman Deline on your reelection, Councilman Pelladori on council president, and I want to thank you all for the job that you do. I know the hours you put in. Okay, public service is thankless. Probably don't hear it enough. Thank you. Okay, keep up the good work. A lot of good stuff going on in town. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, why don't you bring up, Al, since it will be on the computer
Thanks, Al.
anyway, about the call-in list, so we, everybody wants to sign up. You know, what we talked about, the sign up reverse 911?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can, for any resident, unless you want to bring it up, any resident that hasn't signed up, we have a lot of new residents in town. You can sign up for reverse 911 on our website. Just go to our website. If there's any situations that you have an issue or you don't have a computer, you can contact Sharon Sonny in the records department here, and she'll help walk you through it. It's a very important site to be on. I did get a lot of calls at this last water main break that we had, and I know there was some issues that we switched over, but same people didn't receive the message. I said, well, you have to sign up, so they didn't know that. So we should all pass that around. We have a lot of new residents in town with COVID.
One thing we're going to do, Mayor, with the building department is when they get issued their CO, we're going to give them a printout that gives them specific instructions on how to sign up. Separate from all the other stuff in the calendar. We say go to the calendar. It's very voluminous.
Yep.
There's a lot of material there. They're not going to read that. So we're going to give that, make it a point in there to give them that and have them sign up, maybe even right there. I had a gentleman yesterday in the Cardinal that came up to me, didn't get the call. I called up Sharon, we registered him right there as I stood there. It's that simple. It's not a big deal, but he didn't have a computer and he didn't get the call. So yes, we'll make a,
Good. Thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else from the public like to address? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public session?
So moved.
Councilman Bay, Councilman Cruz, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Privilege of the floor, anybody have privilege of the floor?
Just one quick thing, Mayor, since we were talking about it, I guess it just got skipped over. This Friday, actually, there is a vaccine and booster clinic at Lennox
yes.
Elementary, from 4 to 6 p.m. So that's right here in town. It's being held because of our partnership with the Wayne Health Department.
Yes, so I'm gonna say that again, because that's important information, thank you. This Friday at Lennox School, between 4 and 6, is it?
Yes.
4 and 6, you can show up at Lennox School, no appointment needed, to get any of the things that you're looking to get, a booster shot, a first shot, a second shot, a rapid test, a PCR test. Again, no charge, right here in Pompton Lakes at Lennox School, right across the street. Okay, pass that around, that's good information. We should get that up on the web, which it has been.
It is
I'll
on the
repost that,
website.
yeah.
And-
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just wanted to mention the hard work and the diligence that the MUA put together, went out and when they had the water main break. And my husband's on the commission and, they were around the clock to get that thing done. And it was freezing cold and they do a wonderful job. And we're very lucky to have people on the MUA that they're dedicated and they got the water back online. And I know a lot of people didn't have water, but everybody stayed calm. The reverse 911 went out, and I think it's very important we do that to calm the residents down when they don't have water. So I just wanted to mention that.
When you think back into the past, 10 years ago, and the water main break broke, people just went by, didn't have water for a little while. Now, the case of instant gratification of knowing everything. People start screaming 2 minutes into the no water.
Exactly.
How can I get my life together? I have no
Exactly.
water.
Yes.
It's a different time. It's just a different time.
Electric too is the same thing.
Mayor, just you make a good point, Councilwoman Cap. What people didn't realize over there that night, they had to call for an emergency mark-out, okay, which we're not responsible for. So we have to wait till those people get here with the proper equipment. They have to gather the maps that they need, because the amount of utilities in the ground today compared to 20 years ago is just unbelievable. I mean, the fiber optic cable alone, okay, for Verizon, they had to wait quite a while for Verizon. Not an inordinate amount of time, but it took time. And then they bring in a certain contractor that has the ability to spot the leak and minimize the location of the date so that they keep the hole small and they focus on it and they get it on the first shot. So they were there from 5 until about 7 o'clock just waiting for all this other stuff to happen before they could put a shovel in the ground.
Right.
Our residents don't know that. Why would they know that? But I want to say that, and we have gotten some of that information out there, in that the process does take time. It doesn't happen immediately.
Plus,
Okay.
I think they had an accident drunk driver hit the
accident.
truck or something.
We had a DUI driver
Yeah,
that came down the wrong lane.
yep.
God forbid.
Thank God no
Thank
one got
God nobody
hurt.
was in the
Yeah.
line of traffic.
Right,
But he came down the wrong lane. He was doing good in that lane he was in, but he was in the wrong lane. And, yeah, he crashed into a backhoe.
right.
Hope you
He
didn't damage my
literally,
new
there was a
backhoe.
guy operating the backhoe and he actually drove into the bucket. So there could have been a serious injury, but it wasn't, so things happen.
No, thank you
and we
for
got
bringing,
past it.
thanks for
You're
bringing it
welcome.
up.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
And I just wanted to also mention somehow or other, I got in the middle of an intervention with the police department and a neighbor, and I just want to compliment the police and the patrolmen that came to help my neighbor with the situation, and they were very kind, and they were very patient, and that's exactly what you want from a police officer when you have an issue, when you're not really sure what to do with it. And I just wanted to comment on, it was Alex Collins, Patrolman Alex Collins. He was just so kind to the neighbor and helped them through it. And I want to just mention, that's the kind of police department I'm so proud to be a part of.
Thank you, and yes, they do a great job with TikTok. You know, you don't hear those stories of
No.
going to people's houses if someone passed away.
Right.
Some situations that you don't hear about, so thank you. Anyone else? Okay, motion adjourned.
Motion.
So moved.
Councilman Devine, Councilwoman Hallador. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.